accident, so I can't bow down. Yeah. So,
you can explain everything.
Thank you.
Yes.
So we'll start here.
Yes.
You know that the museum is the vision of Abuna Moros. When he was commissioned to be a priest in Canada, he wanted to create a museum. And for 25 years he collected artifacts. And when His Holiness Pope Shenouda came in 1996 and we built this part of the building, they put this museum in what was to be a banquet hall. And here we are. At the end of the tour, I will show you our vision of the new land for the future for the museum. So our mission is really to share our Coptic heritage, spiritual and cultural, to Copts of all generations, but also the wider Canadian society, because we're here for a much wider mission. So we have many activities, guided tours, and we have special tours like for university students, professors.
Coming in?
Yes, public schools. The curriculum has courses in ancient Egypt and modern Egypt and world religions, and the classes come here and they learn about it through culture. We don't speak about our faith in a theological way, but we share our tradition and our spirituality through culture. We also take them on tours to the church.
About the vision of Canadian society.
Yes. One of the things that
regular?
yes, one of the things that we did several years ago, our young people, when they came to the museum, they said, it's very good for you to say that there's such a thing as Coptology, but nowhere in the university do we hear about Copts, whether it's theology, history, art. What are you going to do about it? So Abuna Moros said, well, go to the university and see what departments would be interested. And so we found a department called the Department of Near and Middle East Civilizations. They were very excited to give Coptic studies, but there's no funding because another department is capital. So our church was very generous, and since 2005, we've been funding courses at the University of Toronto. And now they want to have a campaign that it becomes a degree program. Eventually, Dr. Tawadros came from Egypt, and he's been teaching the courses. We established the Canadian Society for Coptic Studies in 2009. We have a symposium every year and lectures in between. It's a Canadian registered society with the federal government. I will be giving Your Holiness a set of our journals at the end.
Thank you. Thank you.
How are you? See you.
Not very well, but I'm okay. We usually start our tours with this collection. Yes. And a lot of our work in the museum is research. Like, we don't just accept things and show them. We have to find it. It took me 10 years to find out whether the faience, the stones, were genuine or fake, or good fakes. And after 10 years of researching in Canada, US, and Egypt, I found out that they were genuine from Amarna, from Tel Amarna, from the excavations there. And they were part of the property of a Coptic family. I don't know if you know Maria Assad. She was, you must know her, with the World Council of Cursed Churches. Yeah. So they lived right next to Tel Amarna. And so she created these pieces of jewelry in the style and gave them to Khan Khalil jewelers to do it. So we show our history of ancient Egypt through art, and then and we show how these faience stones were made in the desert and the secrets of ancient Egyptians. Then there's also jewelry from the Roman, Byzantine, and Persian and Islamic, just to give people a sense of our history and our cultural history and how, as Copts, we adapted to the culture but had our own genuine thing. Can I point this out to Your Holiness? We have 6 paintings of biblical scenes by Arvit Nahla. She was the leading woman painter in Egypt from 1975, 50 years. And Abuna was able to get, he went for one painting because he was told if we got one of her paintings it would be an amazing museum. But because of who he is, she offered 6 of them, biblical scenes. So our museum is the only one to have them. And we've done a lot of research on her. I will be giving you a book of her. But she was painting all sorts of artwork on that. And this, I'm sure you know what it is.
Completely Egyptian.
Yeah. She was noted for reviving early Coptic art in modern style.
Yeah.
And that's the... And this is... Yeah. You can see this is very much like this one. Huh?
Yes.
Yes. And that's her scene of the Last Supper, the Agate, before it's not the Eucharist supper, but the Agate before. And what's very interesting is, just my pointing, is the bread is over the fish there. And in Middle Ages, Coptic icons always had fish on the table as a symbol of the sacrificial Christ. So it's interesting that the bread is over that. And then she has this strange creature here, who's from the Byzantine area. He used to guard the underworld, Cerebus, next to Judas. Anywhere, when anybody in the Roman period who went to the underworld could not leave because Cerebus would be there. So,
Cerebus.
yeah, Cerebus.
Cerebus.
Yeah. And so here we have some clay work. Again, folkloric. We have the lantern, 4th, 5th, Marinina coins, and these are more modern renditions. This is by a well-known artist in the 1950s, Said Antoun from Upper Egypt, and this is pieces his student did for us. That's a very beautiful one there. Look at His Holiness. It was done by the Haraniya Center when there was when the Virgin appeared in Zaytun.
Yes.
This painting, I would invite you to look closely. It's on geometric millimeter paper.
Yeah.
It was painted by Pope Macarius III when he was a monk. And you see how intricate it is. It's like embroidery.
Utah.
Yeah.
Utah.
Yeah. He was known for the geometric painting.
But this is the original one.
Yes, it has been. We're going to fix it. Yeah. We also have a large. We don't show everything. When I started to serve in when I came, there were 110 pieces. We now have 1,200 pieces that I've registered. So we have a large collection of manuscripts. I don't show them all, but here is mainly to show how the manuscripts are in several languages. This Agbeya is a very special Agbeya, which you like to read, which is the 11th hour reading is from which gospel? St. Mark. Today we read the 11th hour from the Gospel of St. Luke. So this means it's one of the more original Agbayas, because in the 18th century, because of the Roman Catholic
But the same about the healing.
Yeah, it's the same,
The same story.
but it's an original one, and it's Abuna Bigula al-Suryani that got very excited when I showed him this. He said this is a very original Agbaya, because after the 18th century we read from the Gospel of St. Luke. Then we have Greek, and these are more the English for the land of immigration. Yeah. And on the other side is a Bible in Coptic. Okay. Here we have Ethiopian. It's called the Dawit in Ethiopia. It's like the Agbaya. And this is 19th century, and it's on goat skin. And you know, it's our first church. Yeah, also painted. Yeah, and it is asking the Lord to protect the priests. You go this way. So we have also a large collection of textiles, and here I have from 2nd century to 8th century pieces. Of course, we don't show everything. We have many more. And this is another one of Manuscript, Jesus in the Temple. This painting of Margaret Nachla, The Miracle of the Great Catch. She won gold prizes for it in Europe, and you can see the fish. She was known as the painter of the crowd.
Yeah.
She said she didn't like crowds, but she liked to paint the individuality of people in the crowd. And you see the expression of all the fish, you know, excited, not excited, and so forth. We also have currency, yeah, and what's original about this collection is it's historical. The jewelry was through art, and here is through political figures, but we also show it. So we start with Alexander the Great. This coin was one of the silver coins available circulating when Judas betrayed our Lord. This particular one. That's the widow's mite.
The widow's mite. بالطبيعيين زي ما هم سحبتهم السلاسل المفروض شكلها
and we put the maps to show people how these powers, where they ruled Egypt and the area. And then we have the Parthian, the Byzantine, then you begin to have Christian imagery there. That's the 6th one of Margaret Nachla, again in folkloric style. On this case, then we have the Islamic dynasties from the Umayyad to the present. This painting is the Rasus vendor, again and it's, I'm sure you know Dioscorus. It's his father who painted that.
Yeah.
And Dioscorus gave us this one and the fish and the vase of his father. His father was a painter at the same time, a period as Margaret Nachla.
Yeah.
Yeah, on that. And
Rasus.
yeah, again and that's a Nubian girl by Kaukab Yusuf, who was a very well-known professor of art in Egypt as well. And this is by a young, he's now Canadian, Copt, who did paintings on peace, and he was forced to leave Egypt because of his work on peace. He came here as a refugee, and because of the support we gave him, and now he's becoming a lawyer, inshallah, he gave us this painting, and he called it the Peace Planter. So it's to show you the generations of artists, because what we like to do in our museum is also to affirm modern Copts. We don't feel that Coptic tradition ended in the 6th century. It continues with modern art. So here we have crosses, Coptic crosses, given by a number of people here. And these are very beautiful ones. They're not like the ones we have from China. These are the beautiful old ones. And this is an Ethiopian collection as well. Okay, no, I'm blessed. I couldn't have missed this. And these are Ethiopian crosses. Here we have a stamp collection. The very first stamp from Egypt on there. And on this side is what is called the collector's stamp collection that the British Museum did after the treasures of Tutankhamun visited them. And it took them 4 years to create these stamps to be genuinely like the original stamp. And it's a collector's album. So we have
This bishop stand about Bob Shinoda.
Yes, we have him here. Excuse me. Here we have the stamps that were issued, Christian stamps in Egypt. The only one I'm missing is the one of the Holy Family in Egypt in 2000. If anyone can find it for me, I'll be very happy.
The link also from the Pope hand, which should be there by then.
Yeah, my hand is very limited.
Yeah,
I don't know where to put it.
تصور ولا
ليش ما بستحمل اعطوا سيدنا.
This stamp is very special. The United Kingdom in December.
Last year.
Yes,
In Christmas, yes.
by a young couple. Yeah. So, but we have stamps with. We're still working on.